So in this video on views within Microsoft Dynamics for Sales, we're going to cover off the Visualize Your Data function. Now this is just one in a series that we've done on views. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got any suggested content or indeed you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. So what do we mean by the Visualize This View function? So I'm in an opportunities view, but it applies to all views. And I've got on the top button here a field that says, a function that says, a button that says, visualize this view. And it's visualize this view in Power BI. So effectively what this is really designed to do is to whet our appetite as to the power of Power BI, which is sort of Microsoft's flagship reporting tool. Now, if I click this, it's going to go off and interpret that data. Effectively what it's doing is saying, I'm going to look at that data and I'm going to surface what I think is the most interesting graphical representations of it. So that's now come back as a series of charts. So just to show what we've got on the screen here, we've got a number of graphs, charts appearing. We've also got some summary information, one of which is sum of probability, which is perhaps not the most useful calculation. And then in the right hand side I've got the fields on that view, and the ones that are ticked are the ones that Power BI has chosen to use for the purposes of its visualization. It's the ones that it thinks are the most important, which I'd probably concur with based on what it's selected here. But we can clearly change this and we can add additional fields, or we can remove fields if it has taken the wrong information. So we've got the ability to manipulate what's shown through changing the field selection there. We've also got the ability to change these graphs as well. So this particular one is sum of estimated revenue by topic, or topic being the name of the opportunity, which is again perhaps not the greatest representation of the data. And I've got the feature here to personalize this visual, which I can do in a number of ways. If I click on that, I can change the visualization. It's currently depicting it as a clustered bar chart, but if I go to the arrow to the right there, then that can pick up all sorts of different graphical representations of the data. I've also got the axes here. So on the y-axis at the moment I've got topic, which I've said isn't the greatest, perhaps not the most insightful piece of information. I can change that by clicking on that, and then I can select something different. So I might actually want to report it by rating. So if I click that, if I go to the x-axis, at the moment it's sum of estimated revenue, which again is probably a sensible aggregation. But I've also got the ability, if I click on the dots there, to choose a different means of calculating. I want an average, a minimum, a maximum, or a count, or various other options there. So that's, I guess, the basics of it. One additional element, we've got the ability to show the data table as well within this. So if I just click on that, what's going to happen now is it's going to display a sort of grid of the underlying data below. And obviously if I just click on a particular graph, then it will sub-filter the grid. So I can either look at it just as a series of charts, or I can look at it as charts and an underlying grid. The final thing that we can do is save it if we want. If we want to save this, so RB test, I won't call it 3, I'll call it 4, and then I continue and I can save that. And then once I've done that, that's saved as a Power BI report that I can access through Power BI. So that's a quick run through of what the Visualize This View is. I say it's probably a sampler for the power of Power BI, but it can be quite a useful way of sort of getting a quick visualization of your data. Anyway, hopefully that explains that feature. As I said, this is one in a series that we've done on views. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got any content ideas, always gratefully received. Or if you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. Thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully see you again soon.